Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Plugged In, the Con Edison podcast on everything about energy and what we all can do towards a clean energy future.
Danger. Gas leak explosion risk. Evacuate, then call 911.
Everything is okay. That's a warning you're hearing. A warning from a natural gas detector. That's a device, a tool, if you will, that should be in every home or building that uses natural gas for heating or cooking. Hi, everybody. I'm your host, Philip O'Brien. Today, we're talking about those detectors and gas safety. Joining us are some of the folks at Con Edison's Gas Services. They'll tell us about safety tips and all about a very important program the energy company is offering its gas customers for free. First, let's say hello to Kathy Boden, Con Edison's Senior Vice President for Gas Operations. Thanks for joining us, Kathy.
Hi, Phil. Thank you for having me today.
Tell us about this free program that provides a gas detector for gas customers.
So Con Edison co-developed a device that is a methane detector with an automatic communication built in. And it operates 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it can detect very small quantities of natural gas. And if it detects leaking gas, it immediately sends a signal through our automated metering infrastructure to our control centers. And from there, we dispatch the local fire department and a gas distribution services troubleshooter. And we're installing these devices. They're about the size of an Easy Pass, and they're in customers' basements near where the gas pipe enters the wall.
And I already have one in my home because I'm a gas customer. But if it were to go off, there's nothing I need to do except respond by getting out, correct?
Correct. You're right on it. We'll be there before you know it.
Good. What's the need behind this program?
So this is really just another layer of protection for anyone who has a gas service entering their home or building. So anyone who's got a gas service likely knows that when gas leaks, it smells like rotten eggs, and that's due to the mercaptan injected into the gas. If you smell rotten eggs, the next step is to vacate the premises and call 911 or 1-800-75-CON-ED to report a gas leak. But what if you're not home? This device is still working when you're not there and will alarm and elicit a response before you even know it. We install that detector on the inside of your home near the point where the gas pipe enters the building, and it's going to detect inside gas leaks from any leaking gas pipes nearby, and the fire department will arrive within minutes, and we'll be right behind them.
Should everyone who's a gas customer of Con Edison expect and reach out to get one of these?
Oh, I think so, for sure. I mean, this is a game changer for gas safety. You know, in the past, we were expecting you to smell the mercaptan, smell the rotten eggs, and give us a call. And in this case, that detector will be there as this extra layer of protection, and it may alarm, and you may not even know it.
Kathy, what kind of gas customer gets a gas detector installed for free?
Any customer with a gas service coming into their building can get one of these detectors installed. And it should be noted that these special detectors are one per building and are installed only where the gas pipe enters the buildings and not in the living space. There are other commercially available detectors a customer can purchase for use in living spaces, like apartments or rooms that have gas appliances.
So just to be clear, Kathy, that means that if you live in an apartment building, the apartment building would get one in its basement, but not every tenant would get one in their apartment.
Exactly.
Because they don't need it.
That's right. You know, if it's protecting really the building, and if the gas is leaking down near the detector, it'll detect it. I do recommend, though, in the living space having a natural gas detector. But again, that would be something you could purchase at like Home Depot or even online through Amazon.
Okay, and that should be in conjunction with other detectors you should get, like a smoke detector.
Yeah, right.
Okay, good. Is Con Edison the only utility with this free safety program?
As far as I know, we are. I think our sister company, Orange and Rockland, is also deploying these devices for free. And there are a few other companies that have benchmarked with us to explore putting their own systems in. And I hope they do that, because the detectors, they really offer another pretty foolproof layer of detection. And they're a game changer for natural gas safety.
Mm. And I know that Con Edison did its homework before deciding on this and before implementing it, and quite a few of them have already been installed. So what's the feedback? Are they reliable?
They are. We've installed over 210,000 of these natural gas detectors, and we're on our way to get to over 370,000 buildings with gas services. And it's round the clock protection. And a response by the fire department occurs in minutes. So it really is a great program and a free program. And essentially, the reliability of them, the detectors have been extremely reliable. Like I said, we've got 210,000 in. And they're sending us communication heartbeats throughout or through our AMI network 3 times a day. So we know an alarm from one of the detectors will get through. And if it doesn't, we'll come out and check it. And the methane detectors have been tested to perform for a prescribed length of time. We know how long the detectors and the batteries will last in your unit, and we'll come out and install a new one when the time comes for free.
And one feedback I heard of, Kathy, was from the New York City Fire Commissioner, who praised the program and said that all New Yorkers should take advantage of it. And she said, that's Laura Kavanaugh, the New York City Fire Commissioner, that the alarms are like smoke alarms and will give you an early warning of a potential dangerous situation.
Yeah, Phil, that's right on. For this critical gas safety program where we're getting our own bit of an early warning for a gas leak, we wanted to maximize our opportunity to respond as quickly as possible. And the fire department is a first responder organization that uses lights and sirens to quickly maneuver through the streets, alerting vehicles to pull over and let them through so they can get to the emergency and save lives and property. Con Edison vehicles also respond to gas emergencies, but we need to follow all the traffic rules. We don't have sirens, et cetera. So we work with the local fire departments to educate them about the purpose and operation of the detectors, and we ask them to help us make our service territory safer. And that's our combined service territory. We work here together and live here together. They recognize the value of the program, and they've been just an excellent partner. So really happy to hear the commissioner's remarks.
Great. Thank you, Kathy. Kathy Boden, Senior Vice President for Gas Operations at Con Edison.
You're listening to Con Edison's Plugged In. Stay tuned for a conversation with Christine Cummings and Oscar Leone, but first, an important word from our sponsor.
If you smell natural gas, act fast. You'll know it's natural gas because it will smell like rotten eggs. If you suspect a leak, do not turn lights or appliances on or off, or use the phone. These things could cause a spark that could cause the gas to explode. Leave the area immediately and take others with you. Once at a safe distance, call 911 or Con Edison right away. Your call can be anonymous. Never assume someone else has already called.
Welcome back. Today on Plugged In, we're learning all about natural gas detectors and a Con Edison program that provides a gas detector to gas customers free of charge and with free installation. Let's bring on Christine Cummings and Oscar Leone. Christine is Con Edison's General Manager for Projects Management and Customer Programs. Christine, who's eligible for a gas detector?
So every home and building with a gas service and an AMI meter, that's one of those automatic meters, is eligible. And the device and the installation is free.
The AMI meter or smart meter is something that also was distributed to customers for free, correct?
Correct.
What are the benefits of a detector for a homeowner or landlord?
So there's a couple of benefits. And the first is that the device continuously monitors the atmosphere for methane, which is a challenge for life and property if it starts to leak. The other benefit to it is that the device, because it is connected to Con Edison's Emergency Response Center, means that customers don't need to be near the device, able to hear, or even home for that matter. The device will alarm back at our Emergency Response Center, and that means that there's a lot more freedom for customers and a lot more built-in safety.
And that might also include someone who is hearing impaired, correct? So while they may not be able to hear the warning, Con Edison does.
Yes, and that's an important thing. We have a lot of customers who are deaf or hearing impaired, like I am, or might be living on another floor from where the detector is installed, and that would make hearing the device a challenge.
And there's another aspect, if I'm correct, in that the alarm keeps going on until the fire department or gas crews show up.
That is correct. It will continue to alarm and will continue to make noise during the time between the notification at the company's emergency response center and the time that either the company or the fire department responds.
How can customers get a detector?
So we've sent all eligible customers information on how to obtain one. But if you're like me and don't read much of the mail that arrives at your house, then you can call us at 1-800-643-1289, or you can email us at naturalgasdetectors@coned.com, and we'll set you up with an appointment for the installation.
Does the customer have to be home or someone else can be there?
So someone needs to be there. It doesn't necessarily need to be the customer. It could be your child care provider or a parent or someone who's retired, or yourself if you're working from home. But someone will need to let us into the building or to the home so that we can do the installation.
How long does the installation take?
So the installation only takes a minute. It's a very short installation process. However, we do a pre-check before we install the device, and that can take a little bit of time. We'll also do your service line inspection that's required at the same time. So if you need to have that done, you'll have that done at the same time as well. So we're usually done in 15 to 30 minutes, perhaps a little longer for a very large multifamily building.
So it's like a good checkup at the doctor as well.
Absolutely.
Is there any sort of construction work that goes on, like drilling holes in a wall or?
No construction's necessary. The device is very small, not much larger than the Easy Pass that's in your car or a deck of cards. And it is essentially installed with a zip tie. And so it's a very short process, no damage done to any walls or other facilities.
The natural gas detector, does that replace any of the other detectors someone should have in their home, such as a smoke detector or a carbon monoxide alert? Does this replace those, or should it be added in conjunction with them?
You should still install non-connected devices in your home or apartment if you have a stove or any other appliances on another floor. And in fact, if you are a New York City resident, there's a law going into effect in 2024 that is going to require you to have these non-connected devices near those appliances. We really think of our detector as a complement to those detectors and not a replacement for those local detectors in your home. So the same way you would install smoke detectors near your bedrooms and in hallways, you're going to do the same thing with these natural gas detectors that are not connected. And you'll have the added safety of having a device in the basement or somewhere near the gas metering and the point of entry for your gas service. And that will be sort of like when you get into a car and you put on your seatbelt, but you also have anti-lock brakes and airbags. It's just another level of safety.
And it's free, right?
That is correct. It is the detector you will receive from the company will be installed for no cost to you.
Christine, hang on for a minute and let's bring on Oscar for some more insight about what's happening in the field when a gas detector goes off. Oscar Leone is a department manager for Con Edison's Manhattan Gas Distribution Department. Welcome, Oscar. Oscar, once the alarm is received at the Con Edison Emergency Response Center, what happens next?
Well, the fire department is notified, our qualified gas crews are dispatched, and the Gas Emergency Response Center, which is basically our control room that handles gas emergencies, look up mapping information to identify gas pressures in the area, service and main configuration, just so we could see the layout of how gas comes into a certain region, and shut off valves as a backup plan.
How do these alarms help Con Edison coordinating with the fire department in New York City, as well as local fire departments in Westchester County, where the detectors are also available for customers?
So the fire department arrives to the location before gas crews do, right? They have licensed sirens. And based on their initial assessment, they could have information that can help us get more information and a sense as to what type of emergency condition exists. And between the fire department, the gas emergency response center, and gas crews, we work together to mitigate the situation and make the situation safe.
What happens when the company arrives at the location with a crew and the alarms are going off? What happens next?
So communication and sharing of information is critical, and it's ongoing between supervision that arrives on the location, the gas crews, the fire department and its chiefs, the gas emergency response center, right? So that keeps happening as the situation progresses. A gas leak investigation is conducted, and the emergency is further assessed. And then based upon that information and communication between all those parties, mitigation action plans are taking place. And so depending on the severity of the situation, it could grow to an incident command structure, which is basically a communication standard that we have when handling emergencies. And internal or company-wide communications can go out, as well as external, whether it be to the public or regulators. And the isolation of gas to a certain area can occur. And then gas crews continue to report their findings and document their findings. We remove the batteries from the device to deactivate it, and the device is removed.
Then what happens? Is it replaced?
Correct. Yeah, we set up an appointment with the customer to replace the device that has activated.
And that too is free.
That is correct. Free at no charge to the customer.
How long does one of these detectors last if it does not set off?
So 10 years. We have a 10-year battery life for each detector.
And what happens if it breaks or it's damaged in some way?
We come back to the location to replace it. Free at no charge to the customer.
Now, beyond gas detectors, Con Edison offers a lot of advice and tips for customers and everyone in the area for safety when it comes to gas. What are some of those gas safety recommendations?
So I think the first thing to remember is that even if the alarm is not going off, but you think you smell gas, call us anyway. We will always respond to a call from a customer, and that's very important to remember. So you are your own best expert when it comes to your home. And if you smell something and you believe it's natural gas, even if the alarm has not gone off, please call us. We're happy to respond.
What other tips do you have for a typical household?
Yeah, so I could add by saying if you smell gas, it's important that you remove yourself from the situation and call 911, call Con Edison, act fast. Don't leave it up to anyone else or any assumption to lead to a phone call not being made. Get everyone outside, away from where you smell the gas odor, move to a safe place, and make that call.
What about gas appliances? Any tips?
So when you have a gas appliance, it's important that, especially when you leave your home or even while you're in your home, that you check your appliances to ensure that they're either, if they're not in use, that they're turned off completely. Make sure that maintenance schedules are maintained. Even if you have gas appliances that are normally in use frequently, don't take that for granted. Make sure that all your burners are turned off completely when you're done cooking, or even when you're used to using them so often that it's not even a thought in your mind. Make it a thought in your mind. Blowing out a pilot when you think that gas is escaping or opening the window can lead to complacency. It's important that we protect against that. Don't take it for granted. Think about protecting your life. Think about protecting other people's lives, and make that phone call and ask for help. Call a professional. You need to make a repair or have a question about your appliance.
It's also important to remember that we do not care about immigration status or status of green cards, right? Our job is to keep you safe. So please don't worry or not call because someone in your home or one of your neighbors may have a immigration status concern.
Another great point, Christine. Before we go, would you please repeat the phone number, website, and email address where customers can go to find out more about the free natural gas detectors?
Sure. You can reach us at 1-800-643-1289. You can visit us on www.coned.com, or you can email us at naturalgasdetectors@coned.com.
Good to know, Christine. A special thanks to all our guests today. Catherine Boden, Senior Vice President for Con Edison Gas Operations, Christine Cummings, General Manager for Project Management and Customer Programs, and Oscar Leon, Department Manager for Manhattan Gas Distribution. And of course, all our listeners too, thank you to you. And until we see you next time, stay plugged in.
And that's our show. Thanks for joining us. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Plugged In. If you have a comment or question about the program, you can send us an email to podcast@coned.com. We'd love to hear from you. You can also follow us on our social platforms, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Our handle is @Con Edison.